What if the man who has challenged Roman Reigns more than anyone else on the planet finally admitted something he's never said before? What if Seth Rollins, the visionary, the architect of WWE's most memorable moments, looked Roman Reigns in the eye backstage after Raw and said the words that could change everything between them? "I'm sorry. This is the moment we need to talk about because this isn't just an apology. This is surrender. This is acceptance. This is a complete shift in the dynamic between two of WWE's greatest warriors." But before we break down what this means for the future of wrestling's most intense rivalry, if you're still new here, hit the subscribe button, like and ring the notification bell for WWE Express so you don't miss our latest updates. We deliver the deepest character analysis and storyline breakdowns on YouTube, giving you the psychology behind every moment that matters in WWE. Subscribe now and never miss an episode that changes how you see professional wrestling. Let's be honest about what Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns have been. They've been enemies. They've been competitors fighting for the same space at the top of the mountain. They've been two men constantly jockeying for position, constantly trying to prove who belongs and who doesn't. Seth has challenged Roman's authority repeatedly. He's questioned Roman's dominance. He's positioned himself as the true vision of what WWE should be, as the man who deserves the spotlight that Roman has held for so long. But here's the thing about that narrative: it's been exhausting for Seth. Think about the psychology of what we've just learned happened backstage. Seth finally sought out Roman in a moment of genuine vulnerability. Not for cameras. Not for social media. Just two men in a quiet room. And Seth said something that represents a fundamental shift in his mindset. "I'm sorry." What could Seth possibly be apologizing for? He's apologizing for years of defiance that, deep down, he might recognize was less about being better and more about refusing to accept reality. He's apologizing for the wars between them that have taken a physical and emotional toll on both men. He's apologizing for perhaps pushing so hard against Roman that he lost sight of something fundamental. Roman Reigns is phenomenal at what he does. Roman is genuinely the top guy. And maybe Seth is finally at peace with that truth. This is fascinating from a character standpoint because it shows growth, but it shows growth in an unexpected direction. When we think of Seth Rollins, we think of a fighter. We think of a man who will never give up, who will always believe in himself, who will always push back. But that fighting spirit can also become a prison. It can keep you trapped in endless cycles of competition and confrontation. What if Seth's apology is actually his way of freeing himself from that cycle? Consider what Seth has accomplished despite never holding the top position that Roman occupies. He's been main event caliber for years. He's main event WrestleManias. He's main event major pay-per-views. He's had incredible matches and told incredible stories. Yet he's always seemed driven by this need to prove he deserved to be the guy. What if that hunger has finally shifted into something else? What if he's realizing that being great doesn't require being champion? What if being part of something bigger, being accepted by Roman, is actually more valuable? This apology could signal Seth finally accepting a role within a larger structure. Maybe he's making peace with Roman and positioning himself as part of something greater than individual championship pursuits. Maybe he's recognizing that Roman's dominance isn't a reflection of Seth's shortcomings but simply the reality of the landscape he operates in. That's powerful character work because it shows maturity. It shows Seth evolving beyond the need to be constantly vindicated. Now, here's where the narrative gets really intriguing. What does Roman do with this apology? Does he accept it immediately, or does he make Seth earn his acceptance? Does he bring Seth into his inner circle, or does he keep him at arm's length as a sign of continued dominance? The answer to that question will define the next chapter of their story. If Roman accepts Seth's apology and brings him close, you're looking at a potential alliance that could reshape the entire company. If Roman accepts but maintains distance, you're looking at a cold peace where they coexist but don't truly unite. The psychology of Seth's move is brilliant because it puts the ball entirely in Roman's court. Seth has surrendered the narrative control. He's given Roman the power to decide what comes next. That's a massive shift from years of Seth constantly pushing back, constantly trying to seize control of the story. Now Seth is vulnerable, and vulnerability from someone as proud as Seth Rollins is incredibly compelling storytelling. What's fascinating is that this doesn't make Seth weak. In fact, it might make him stronger because he's showing the kind of confidence that only comes from true security. You only apologize when you're sure enough of yourself that you don't need to be right all the time. You only extend olive branches when you're secure enough that you don't fear the consequences. Seth's apology is actually a statement of strength, not weakness. It's Seth saying, "I don't need to prove anything anymore. I'm secure enough to make peace." This could be the beginning of the most powerful alliance in WWE. Imagine Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns working together. Imagine the combined storytelling ability, the combined physical prowess, the combined charisma of these two incredible performers united instead of divided. They could become unstoppable. They could elevate everything around them. The bloodline could take on dimensions we haven't seen before. But beyond the in-ring implications, this moment represents something deeper about the nature of professional wrestling storytelling. It's a reminder that character development doesn't always mean victory. Sometimes the most powerful character moment is when someone finally chooses peace over constant conflict. Sometimes the most courageous thing a character can do is admit they were wrong, or simply acknowledge that someone else is greater than they are. Seth has spent so long trying to be the top guy that he might have forgotten the joy of simply being great. Maybe that's what this apology is really about. It's Seth choosing to focus on being the best version of himself rather than constantly measuring himself against Roman. It's Seth choosing collaboration over competition. And that's actually a more mature, more evolved version of the character. The beauty of where we are right now is that the story is completely open. We don't know how Roman will respond. We don't know if this apology will lead to alliance or if it will be used against Seth somehow. We don't know if this is genuine redemption or just the setup for something darker. That uncertainty is exactly what makes wrestling magical. It's that not knowing that keeps us invested. What we do know is that Seth Rollins has made a move that changes everything. He's shifted the narrative. He's shown vulnerability in a way that his character rarely does. He's opened a door that could lead to incredible places. And that's the kind of character work that reminds us why we love professional wrestling. It's not just about physical competition. It's about growth, about change, about characters evolving in ways we don't always see coming. Keep your eyes on how this unfolds because this apology from Seth Rollins might be the most important character moment in months. It might reshape the entire landscape of WWE for the foreseeable future. And it all started with 3 words spoken in a quiet moment backstage after Raw went off the air. That's the power of great storytelling, and that's why we keep watching. If this breakdown of Seth and Roman's evolving relationship has you thinking differently about where their story goes next, please subscribe to WWE Express. We break down these character moments, these psychological shifts, and these narrative turns that make professional wrestling so compelling. Subscribe now to get analysis that goes deeper than surface-level commentary. Join our community and let's explore the artistry of WWE storytelling together. Thanks for watching WWE Express, and I'll see you in the next video.